Okay, now, Mr. Peterson, you're under oath, correct?
Yes.
And you expect this jury to believe you?
Yes.
Treat you as an honest person?
Yes.
But the truth is, there have been times in your life where you have lied because it benefited you.
I would say probably that's a good characterization, although I might say it's easier. It was just easier sometimes to let the lie come out.
All right, I'll go first on this one because I don't have a whole lot for it. There's tons there, but I know you guys are going to rip at a new one. So what I want to talk about is, remember that show Lie to Me? The one that was supposed to be Paul Ekman in that show? There's a song in there, and it was called Easier to Lie. And it's by his band Aqualung. Go check it out. The song is about what he's talking about. It's an experience we've all experienced. We've all gone through the feeling that guy's talking about when we've lied about something, and we've all lied. You've lied. Every panelist has lied. We've all lied. And some people are good at it and some people aren't. So he's talking about the feeling that is expressed in that song, where it's easier to lie than to say, okay, well, here's what happened. Let's get started and go through the whole thing, because would disrupt his life. It would disrupt his marriage. It would disrupt everything if he had told the truth about that, the lies he's talking about. So in a nutshell, that's where I'm coming from. Yeah, I mean, because it is easier to lie. We all know that. And that's the reason we lie a lot of times. All right, Mark, what do you got?
Yeah, so I started looking at this and I was just, what is going on here? It's just the most bizarre amateur dramatics going on. And then I said to the guys, I said, what is going on? And they said, oh, I think they're kind of practicing for jury. And then it started to make a bit more sense to me. You know, it was court prep. But even still, I mean, so he starts off with fingertips like so. Now, you only ever do this consciously. The moment you see any human being like this, you know they know they're doing this, because this is super hard to do, and that's why, like, it takes a lot of conscious brain power to do this. So the moment you see somebody doing this, you're like, you know, you're performing right now. You know what you're doing. You think this has an effect. So he started with this effect, and I guess you know, his coaches, which I don't know who they are, but his coaches have said, you know, do this because you'll look, you know, like you got some power, and you know, you'll look like you're honest if you do that. So we know this is amateur dramatics from moment one from him. Okay, the second question came up, which is, who's the dude in the who's blowing his nose into a paper bag?
Correct?
Yes.
And you expect this jury to believe you?
Like, is that, you know, the jury is one man strong and true, and who selected that guy?
Correct?
Yes.
And you expect this jury to believe you?
So it's like, we got this jury member and he's blowing his nose into a paper bag. That was just odd. I don't know what any of that is about, and why he's part of the team.
Correct?
Yes.
And you expect this jury to believe you?
Why? Oh, let's get him in. You know, he blows he's got a nasal problem, but let's get him in. He'll be really helpful. I don't know what's going on there. And then the guy who's I guess is his lawyer, not even playing a lawyer. I guess the guy's his lawyer, I suppose. I don't know. He opens with what we call a Barum Statement, which is, it's always true. It's true for anybody. So, you know, you've lied to serve, you know, your own purposes. Well, yeah, of course. You know, lies either serve the purpose of the person lying or serve the greater community or somebody else. That's the nature of lies. They set up something that isn't true in order to serve a benefit, either for you or somebody else or a whole group of people. And do we do that? Have you ever done that? It's like, yes, of course I have. Of course I've done that. I probably do that most every day. So to throw out a Barum Statement, the moment you hear questions like that, we call them Barum Statements. They're always true. Just like I know that you sitting there right now, you have a scar just on your knee. Yeah, just around that knee, probably the other way. If not, it's your elbow. Yeah, and we know that's a Barum statement. Like everybody has a scar somewhere on their knees and their elbow because they're designed. They're designed for you to fall over and for them to get damaged and to heal. Okay, so Barum statements going on there. That's nuts. What is going on there? I want to hear from everybody else. Chase, what's going on there?
Speaking of Barum statements, one of the best was some of your aspirations tend to be unrealistic. Oh, really? That was the beginning of the original Barum statement paragraph. Right. And they're great, but they're also great when you say it to a jury as a witness. But the statement you see from this attorney is a very standard issue, law school. Here's how you cross-examine. Here's how you undermine someone's level of trust with the jury. Super standard, not very effective. And keep this in mind, it's not a question. It is not a question. But this is a golden opportunity for this person to answer it, which is where some attorneys would say, if it's not a question, you say the phrase, that's not a question. Is that a question? To try to undermine the opposing counsel, not a good idea at this point. It's always a good idea to undermine opposing counsel, but not at points like this. So what you need to do, if I'm coaching an attorney, if there's a jury there, the first response needs to be to teach your client universal experiences. Universal experiences, something everyone can identify with. And maybe he could answer a question with something like, I think every human being, and subtly, I'm pointing to myself here. I would teach this witness. Every human being, I'm pointing to myself, has regretted lying before. We've all done it, and I most certainly regret allowing that behavior to be okay. And when I said allowing that behavior to be okay, when I said that behavior, that's a dissociative word that I'm really not distancing myself from it. I'm helping them to visualize it as separate from me. So when I say we, and I'm grouping everyone in, and then I'm talking about something everyone sitting in that jury box has done, lied to benefit themselves. When your wife says, do I look great in this dress? And you say yes, even though it might not be true, that's a lie to benefit yourself. And it's also the reason we function as a society. So yeah, we've all done it. Greg?
Yeah, so number one, a lot of people do it instinctively after a while because they've done it so many times. Mark, when you intentionally are trying to block yes, I always encourage any executive, any person who has a job, any person who wants to get ahead, not to ever do this because it's perceived badly in the beginning. For just a minute, think about where you've seen it. Burns on The Simpsons. Excellent. It looks evil. It looks like, masterminding evil. And what happens is as you compromise, your hands rotate forward. So it is a really good indicator that you've lost control. And then when you're finally compromised, they're like this. I have a great photo of Tony Blair standing in front of Condoleezza Rice just like that. And I was like, call Mark. You need some help. So we tell people not to do steepling. Steepling's a bad move. And when you move forward to compromise, the reason people do it is because it looks like they're compromised. In this case, not sure if the guy coached him to do it or not, but his messaging for the first time is pretty congruent. Whether he's telling the truth or whatever, he's trying to do kind of a mea culpa and be contrite. And his body language is pretty good here. This is a pretty good baseline because now his eyes are moving at the right time. He looks softened. He looks emotional. Looks like, hey, yeah, I made a mistake. And it does come across that way. Now, whether somebody coached him or that's him actually doing it, I think it's actually he feels safe enough to say those words in preparation. And what he's going through right here is inoculation. Just like you're inoculated where all of us are getting this shot against a virus, or like SEER school where we put you through the experience so you're ready for it. This is what you do. This is what trial preparation is. We get the guy ready so that he is not surprised when that question comes across. And I think what you're seeing here is a pretty solid baseline for when he is contrite and doing what he's supposed to do. Now, the fingers, give or take, who knows? But I think if you take this and you take the last segment, so this video is video 9, the last video is video 8. If you go all the way back to video 4, the one where he talks about being on the deck and going down to the pool, and you look at this as a baseline for, yeah, he's being contrite and honest, and the last videos where he's asking for approval constantly, go back and take apart video 4 now. Go back and look at that story and put down the notes what you see, because I think you'll see a very different story now.
And if you want to watch somebody do this, go from steepling like this and talking like they know everything, slowly but surely going down this way. If you go to bodylanguagetactics.com, we've got a video there where we're talking about our course. And the more Greg alphas me, the more this thing starts going down. If you begin at the first, I'm like, oh, I'm a totally in charge guy. And then by the time it's over, I'm like totally down like this. Watch that. That's hilarious. And people pointed out to me, like, dude, what's going on with your thing?
It's funny.
Like, well,
that was years ago.
Alpha. Yeah, I know. But still, it's still classic for me anyway. But that's a perfect example of that.
Okay, Mr. Peterson, you're under oath, correct?
Yes.
And you expect this jury to believe you,
Yes.
treat you as an honest person.
Yes.
But the truth is, there have been times in your life where you have lied because it benefited you.
I would say probably that's a good characterization, although I might say it's easier. It was just easier sometimes to let the lie come out.
If you like this video, get the full body language breakdown and analysis on our main channel by clicking this video right here.
Again.